Good night, everyone. Good night, Empress. Good night,
Good
Ty.
night.
Let's go. Are you
Let's
guys ready?
go.
We got some special. I would say very very important and special information.
Yeah.
Sounds intriguing.
Ooh, let me just show something. Ooh,
Ooh, was that a sneak peek? Was that a teaser?
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot. It's information that a lot of people will know for sure. But then there's tidbits in there, and like I said, we always have to think about that. There's new people entering the space every day, and the more they can learn, the quicker we have a chance of keeping, just keeping them to learn how to be informed and understand what they're reading and different things like that.
those future millions cannot be lost or stolen.
That's right.
But Ty, I did create a tweet and I tagged you. I also tagged Empress. If you guys can share the tweet, please.
Okay,
Oh,
okay.
now I can see as a message. I can see Riza, but on the phone. That's interesting.
Mm. I told you I've had issues with different people at different times, and then the next day it'll be somebody do. It's something odd that I don't know if it's something they're changing within their algorithm that's causing some problems, or if
Let me
it's
tell you something weird.
I don't
know
know.
if that's happening with you guys as well. But since somebody took over Twitter, uh, since that person took over Twitter, for some reason, my number of followers keep going up to 4,100. And then as soon as it hits 4,100, it goes back down to like 4,060 something. Usually goes down to 67. And then it goes back up in 80s and 90s. And when I hit the 400, I mean 4,100, starts going back down. That happened like 5 times already. And I was like, what's going on? Like recently, right? I've been checking. Like today, it went down like 30 followers. And I'm sure like the next 2 days, it's going to be like 40 followers up. And then I don't know.
Yeah, it's
That
like
sounds interesting.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know if it's hard to say. I don't know if they are removing bots in mass. Maybe they go to account from account to account and they hit your account and they try to remove as many bots as they can,
I
or
think they,
and then it leaves and then it comes back because I mean I get bot followers every day. I mean, it's not like I'm trying to get them. They just get there. But I know that if you don't, if you really don't interact with them, they're going to fall off eventually. So
I think that they trying to block my millions of views that I have.
that's what it is.
Of course it is. It's a conspiracy.
Like
It's a
this
man
guy
trying
is
to keep
too
you
big.
down.
Yeah, exactly. It's the man trying to keep you down.
Empress, were you heading to the gym?
I just came from the gym, had to pick the kids up, just dropped them home, and I'm beat, man. I'm so done for tonight. I hope to catch up on some Z's today. I haven't been sleeping enough, but I plan to change that tonight.
Awesome. I let me tell you something.
JD Hustle Aloha.
Yeah, let me tell you
Aloha.
something. My 2022 resolution was that I had to go back to the gym immediately. So I did go back to the gym, and man, you know what it was. I'm gonna share with you all because we're family. I went to a party and I got together with friends, right, to celebrate work of the whole year. And I took a picture with them. And when I got home, I saw the picture. I was like, no way, I'm this fat, man. I gotta, I gotta get back in my shape. So I was like, I can't. I'm not gonna start a diet on Christmas because I know I'm gonna eat. But then I was like, January 1st, I'm getting on a diet, and I've been on a diet for 10 days. Woo.
That's good. Congratulations. You look good, Junior. Even if you didn't say that about the dieting, you look good. You're too tired.
Yeah, thank you, and you too, Miss Empress.
Ty,
Not really.
is that a sweatshirt or that's
Yeah,
like,
yeah, it's a
oh,
hoodie.
that's a hoodie. I like it, man.
Yeah,
Ship once a
yeah.
Brazil.
I just got it today, or no, well, two
Oh,
days ago. 2 days
oh,
ago.
nice. Well, don't ship me a hoodie because I live in the I live in hot area, so I
Yeah.
wouldn't even use it. And it's actually hot right now. But
Doesn't it get cold at night?
I need to make a rise up shirt for myself, so I can. I'm actually gonna
You
make
need
a
being desperate,
rise up
man.
shirt for myself so I can wear it to the gym.
Yeah.
Wear almost every day, right? Guys, like and retweet. Let me hold on. Like and retweet this page right here. I mean, this tweet. All right, so let's start. Ty, welcome. This video is gonna be recorded like always. So if you're watching this later on, please make sure that you like the video. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you have not subscribed already. But most important than that, make sure that you read carefully and make sure that you share with everybody that you love or everybody that you know in crypto and you don't want them losing the money. Those key points that we're gonna say tonight are like something very important, and for most of you, it might be just whatever, another slide. But me, Ty, Empress, we're seeing a lot of people lose money. I have seen family members losing money, after me telling them what to do, and I still don't know what they did wrong. But it was definitely one of those steps because there's always a way, and we got to figure out which way we did. If we clicked on the wrong link, whatever it is. So make sure you watch carefully. Make sure you share this video. Actually, yeah, Ty, you can start. I'm gonna create a tweet with the link for this live actually, so I can put it directly on the tweet and we can share.
Okay.
Is
Well,
the
I
music
mean, what?
good?
Yeah, it's fine. What I was going to do tonight was going to go over some, common terms for cryptocurrency terms that may not be common terms in everyday life or whatnot. Like Junior said, there's going to be a lot of people who know most of these terms, probably all of them, quite a few of you. It's just that there are new people every day coming into this space, and we need to continuously put this information out there. Sometimes it reminds us of things that we didn't think about. These are just more terms, just so that like a new person comes into the space, they're on Twitter, they're on these different Telegram and Discord and whatnot, and they understand what people are actually saying when they're talking, when they're using different terms that are crypto specific or acronyms that are crypto specific. There's quite a few of them, so we're going to get through as many as we can tonight. We'll see if we get through them all. Some of them we may spend a couple seconds off. Some may take a little more conversation. So the first one is, what is a coin when referring to cryptocurrency? This is one thing. It's funny because I get a lot of you get a lot of misconceptions as to what is a coin, what is a token. It was one of the reasons why I wanted to have it first, was because
I found out the difference between a coin and a token after a while in crypto. For me, it was just different types of projects, which it is, but there is some key points in it, right?
Well, the main key point would be that a coin runs on its own blockchain. It would be the native coin of a blockchain. A token, which we'll go over next too, also is a token, and it's written on a smart contract that runs on a blockchain, but it does not have its own individual blockchain. In order to be a coin, the main differential is that it has to have its own blockchain. Otherwise, it is not a coin. So that's one of the things that a lot of people think, coin, it doesn't matter what it says in its name. That's not what makes it a coin or not. What makes it a coin is when it runs on its own blockchain.
So
you see a lot of people get confused with that.
Yeah, totally. So let's give them some examples on what's token and what's a coin.
Well, obviously, Bitcoin is a coin. It runs on its own blockchain.
So is
Doge.
Ethereum.
Yep. So is Ethereum. Well, the regular the ERC2, right? I believe it is.
Yeah.
ERC2 is actually is the Ethereum. The other one is actually a smart contract written on the Ethereum blockchain to use for smart contract purposes. The ERC20. So then you have also Dogecoin has its own coin, XRP. If it's a native coin and it has its own blockchain, whereas basically you get paid to do transactions, miners get paid for it, whether it's proof of work, proof of stake, miners get paid in that coin to actually make the transactions. And then we'll go over tokens because I think that's the next one. Yeah. So what is a token? A token is a digital asset built through a smart contract that runs on a blockchain. So it is not specifically to a blockchain. What it is specific to a blockchain, but is a smart contract written on the blockchain. The blockchain it will not get paid normally for transactions done by miners and all of the transaction fees. So you have different situations now where you can, and that is with liquidity. So it gets pretty complicated, but the general difference is if a coin, for be a coin, it has to be on its own blockchain. So if you're on a token and you buy something and it's on Ethereum, it is not a coin. Unless it's Ethereum, it's not a coin. It is a token. If it's on BSC network, it is not a coin. It is a token. If it's on Avalanche, same thing. So that's the main difference. But it's funny because a lot of people think it's how big is it? Shiba is a token, but it's pretty big. So don't think it does. It's not about volume. It's not about anything. It's about whether or not it runs on its own blockchain. So.
In other words, like Ty said, if it runs or not on its own blockchain, if it's not any other project, it is a token.
Yep. And then let's see the next
IPOs and etc.
And the next one is do your own research. So obviously, most of us know what this means. It pretty speaks for itself, right? Just as it sounds, this is when an investor does their own research into an asset. I just want to reiterate, I know I did this last week, but I want to reiterate the your part of the research because, just know that listening to other people tell you what to buy is not doing your own research. Listening to other people's opinions and putting that into your opinion, if you trust their opinions, is part of doing your own research. But if someone just tells you what to buy and you buy it, they have done your research for you. So you are putting your faith in them having done their research. I just see a lot of people think that do their own research means, I went to the Telegram and somebody told me to do it. That's my research, and that's not really research. Obviously, when you want to do research, you want to dig a lot deeper. You want to look into wallets. You want to look at contract creators. You want to make sure there's no wallets holding large percentages of the token. You want to know what your taxes are. You want to know what a lot of these things can be found on the website. Website is a good place to start, but it's not a good place to end. So it's a good place to go find out the general information, but you may want to dig deeper. If they have names of the team on there, it's a really good idea to go ahead and check those names out. See if there's anything you can find out about those names. Have they been, ask them, have they been in other projects? Because if they say they're experienced, then they should be in other projects. If they don't want to talk about other projects, that may be a clue in and of itself. So, just do your research. Don't listen to me. Don't listen to Junior. Don't listen to anybody. Do my 100% best to never tell anyone to buy anything. That is completely someone else's decision. But sometimes you may see us get excited about something, one thing or another, and not even realize it. It feels like an endorsement, but understand it's your decision. So and it's your money, not mine. So, and same goes for any other YouTuber or anybody else that's saying buy. You need to look at it yourself because generally there's a reason why somebody's that hard into pushing to buy, and that's usually because they already own a lot of it and want to sell it when it goes up. So, yep. Not always, but usually.
Somebody always takes profits.
Yeah, I mean, we're not in it. I hear, you hear the term, and I'm not sure this is in here. I'm pretty sure it's not, but it should be. Diamond hands. You hear the diamond hand term all the time, and there's nothing wrong with the term except for that. I mean, nobody's a true diamond hand, right? We all have our number. We're here for a reason. We're here. If it gets to a certain point, we all have a point where we're selling something. We're taking some sort of profit. Are we going to sell out, or are we going to crush the project? No, but we have a number to make money. We got into this for a reason. It wasn't to just watch our money sit there and never get anything out of it, So of course we do. So it can be a little bit, to say I'm a diamond hand. Well, I feel like that. Of course you're a diamond hand. I mean, that means you'll work through the hard highs and the lows, and you'll work through the project. But like I said, whenever we all have our number. We all should have our number. And if it gets there, it's time to take some profit, and if you don't, you'll kick yourself later. We all have done that. So, okay. So the next one is due diligence. And the thing is about due diligence is I've said DD before and then due diligence, and a lot of people don't know what it is. I mean, they know what due diligence is once you say it, but they don't. I see it written DD, and a lot of people don't actually know what DD is. And obviously most of us know what the definition of due diligence is, and that's just part of doing your own research. And what I was saying before, make sure you do research. Go deeper than just looking at the website and seeing, do they have a Telegram? Oh, they've got 10,000 people on their Telegram. Well, if they just started their Telegram, they got 10,000 members on their Telegram already. Most likely, those are not real people, or they've been involved in another project, and see if that Telegram's changed names recently, anything like that, because it's a red flag to me to see that many people that quickly, on a project that's supposed to be new.
Supposed to be new, right?
Yeah, when they're supposed to be new, and they've got 10,000 people in their Telegram, and it's going up by 2,000 a day, and they hadn't even launched yet, and it's fairly obvious it's just botted, and they're not doing anything to stop it. Because sometimes, I mean, you get botted. In Rise Up, our Telegram's gotten botted where we had to fight it. We basically couldn't allow anything to add itself for almost 2 weeks before it finally just stopped. Because we had to make it so tough to get through the CAPTCHA, hardly anybody could get through it. So, but it was sometimes. But if you don't try to stop them, or if you invite them, and obviously you can pay for them. You can pay for anything. Keep that in mind with anything you see, any numbers you see, Twitter numbers, Telegram numbers, any YouTube numbers. They can be paid. They can be bought. There are consequences in most cases if you're caught, but
I mean, anything you can actually buy followers on Twitter as well. I had people offer me that, and I was like, man, you can
buy people. You can buy space. Listeners.
Really?
Yes. You can buy space listeners, and you can buy space listeners that are botted that will actually speak. But the bigger ones you see a lot of, when you see these that are multiples of thousands, and some of the bigger ones, they'll be botted up with a lot of, especially if there's not a good reason for it. If you don't know if certain people, I mean, Elon Musk does a Twitter, but it's probably loaded with bots, just because anything connected to Elon Musk is going to have bots loaded to it. So
I didn't know that, but I had people offer me buying followers on Twitter. I was like, no, man, why would I do that? And then I started looking at many influencers, and I was like, wait, hold on. How does that person have so many followers and so few comments and likes? And I was like, that's interesting. And then that same person I checked like 10 days after, and it was like on 40K, and then it was on 50K. I was like, what? And then I was like, how is there only on 130 likes on the tweet if you have 50K followers? Like, there's
Yeah.
no way, man. I mean,
Well,
no
you
way.
know, I will say one thing that I did like, and I think they're going to change it, or they may already have. I don't know, but you know, Twitter recently did their, you know, did the thing where it shows how many people have actually viewed, or how many times, you know, somebody's basically scrolled past your tweet. Um, I did like that to some extent because it did help you understand the numbers a little bit better. Because, you know, you're going to have thousands and thousands of people that follow you, that are real people that followed you for one reason or another. It was a giveaway, it was whatever. They continue to follow you and they never drop you. So they're a real follower. They're not a bot, but they're not really paying
No,
you.
yeah.
But they're not interact. There's no interaction, you know.
No, but I
So
mean, I understand that, and you know, if you have 50K, doesn't mean you have followers, subscribers, whatever. It doesn't mean you're gonna have 50K likes. But you know, if you don't have
you'd
like
have a few
200
thousand.
likes,
You
I mean,
should
come
have a few
on.
thousand. Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
You know,
you gotta
that's
have
yeah.
1,000 likes.
But I think it gives a good idea to how many when you because I would look at those views and I would say, okay, these are people that are scrolling down their timeline. You know what I'm saying? So that's why it's getting seen. Now it could be the same person that scrolls past the same thing 15 times, because that seems to happen to me sometimes. Where it's like, right, I just saw that. You know. You know, so I don't know how they do the numbers and how they count, but it just does. I like the fact that you can see views, because even though it's still wrong, it gives you a better idea of actually how many people are possibly seeing it. You know, engagement is tough, you know, because there's so much, you're fighting with so much going on Twitter that in most cases is, you know, more drama, more interesting, so it gets more engagement. You know, people like the drama as much as they hate the drama. They go to it like a moth to flame. You know, I don't know what the deal is, but they love it and hate it at the same time. So the next one is all time high. Is, you know, ATH. Obviously, oh, that was old. That's funny. That's 2017. But the all-time high, you know, obviously for Bitcoin, I think is 69,000. Is that correct? 69,000.
Yes.
I pulled this definition from somewhere. Look how old the number is, from 2017. So that tells you how well you would have done if you'd have bought in 2017 at that current all-time high to the last all-time high. And then now you'd be down again a little bit, but guess what? You know, let's see what happens next. I think most people know what all-time high is. I think the ATH is a bigger thing that, you know, someone coming in wouldn't know what that is.
Everybody looks forward for that ATH.
Yeah. Okay, altcoins. This is another one that you get a lot of big. It's funny because it can be confusing because different people have different definitions. My definition and what I have found mostly to be the general consensus is anything not Bitcoin is an altcoin. So now a lot of people have included Ethereum into that, just because, you know, they figure it's past that status of being just an altcoin. But technically for me, and I don't know how you feel about it, Junior, but for me, anything not Bitcoin is an altcoin because, you know, Bitcoin is like the granddaddy of them all. And then there's everyone after that. But
pretty much. I mean, there's something besides Bitcoin that's not an altcoin.
No, I don't think so. I think it's Bitcoin or not. You know what I mean? I think, but like I said, I mean, that's generally the consent because I've seen it.
The mothership.
You know, it's felt different. You know, a lot of people, like it says, there are people that'll think like Ethereum or Ripple or anything like that. They'll think that they're not altcoins, but technically, in most people's technical definition, they would still be considered altcoins at the moment. But I do know a lot of people who consider, you know, Ethereum to be up there with Bitcoin as far. I mean, you know, I think the future of Ethereum is different than Bitcoin. Not that Bitcoin's going anywhere, but Ethereum a lot more can be done with Ethereum over time.
Especially because we know who runs Ethereum.
Yeah, and Bitcoin, but Bitcoin, that doesn't mean Bitcoin's going anywhere. They have different purposes, which is why they will coexist. They have no real necessity
It
to
will
get rid of the
never
other.
exist without one the other anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Well, Ethereum has brought a lot more to crypto.
oh yeah, I mean, Bitcoin was the mother, but everybody who understands about blockchains don't really hold only Bitcoin if they hold Bitcoin. So,
Yeah. All right. The next one's the maximalist and the maxis. You'll hear a lot of people use those terms for maxis. Obviously, it's someone who is after one specific, is really just on one specific blockchain for the most part, or token, but they can be just they're considered like a Bitcoin maxi. You get a lot of Bitcoin maxi where it's Bitcoin or nothing, everything else is terrible. So and that's generally what that means. And it's not just Bitcoin though. There's maxis of Shiba maxis. There's everything. And they just think it's that token or nothing, or that coin or nothing. So,
yep.
Okay, what is a block reward? The compensation that miners receive for successfully validating new transactions and recording them on the blockchain. So, that's what makes the blockchain's world go around, right? Is the validation. That's what it's behind the scenes that the blockchain doesn't exist without it. There's a lot put into it of how that's done and whatnot, and we'll get into that a little bit further down this clicking. But the general thing is that someone has to validate that transaction. Someone has to say that transaction is right, and we'll get into the differences and how that can be done. And it becomes a speed, or it becomes of how much do you own, and that's the differences in proof of work, proof of stake. So that's just the general definition of what a block reward is. So what is blockchain? Blockchain can be described as a huge information file which lists all transactions that were ever made. Blockchain is the heart of the Bitcoin network and serves as a kind of a ledger. So it's the heart of the Bitcoin network. It's also the heart of Dogecoin, Ethereum. Everything there is public information that can be seen by all. That's what the scanners do. When you go in, you can read all that information directly off the blockchain, and there's nowhere to hide it. Now, what it doesn't do is tell you exactly who that person is, unless they tell you who it is, or unless they dox themselves in some way to their wallet. You'll never know who that person is. And when I say dox themselves, that doesn't mean it has to be obvious. There's obviously people out there that know how to hunt it down. So most of us know what a blockchain is, but it's surprising how many are in the middle of it and have no idea, anything about validation or anything like that, and how it works, and how, what miners actually do. So what is a CEX, centralized crypto exchange? So it's
it's just CEX.
Yeah. Well, CEX is, they get a bad name, but they have a necessity. I mean, at the moment, especially, they have that, they have a purpose, and for most people in the world, that purpose is a necessity, and that is to get in, and get out of crypto. So to get your money in and get your money out, CEX is pretty much the way most people are going to do it. So the thing is that what we've talked about, and what's been talked about a lot recently with FTX, obviously, is, and actually before then, a lot of people were saying it long before FTX ever happened. Just nobody ever really listens until their money's gone, because they think it's just safe. It's safe. FTX is huge. It's safe. I can leave it there. And just understand. We always say it. Not your keys, not your crypto. If it's not your wallet, you don't have those keys. They're just basically they got a place. They got a placeholder for your money. They're taking your money and they're saying, yeah, we've got Bitcoin to cover that. Well, we found out with FTX, they have no problem with telling you they do when they don't. So and I'm not speaking for every. FTX didn't have any problem. I'm not going to speak for every CEX out there, but there's another issue with it too, and that is just like with FTX. If something happens and they declare bankruptcy, it's still not your crypto. They don't have to steal it for you to lose it. That's the thing you need to understand. They don't have to steal it. They could be bad businessmen. Yeah, their creditors, they could borrow money and their creditors come take your crypto. So.
I'm saying they don't have to steal it, because if you don't have it, it's never been yours.
Exactly right. So I mean, just know, and it's not financial advice to tell you what to do. I'm just going to tell you myself. It's an on and off ramp. That is it. If you need to move things around quickly, they're helpful for that. It's helpful to help keep your identity hidden. There's different reasons to use them. For me, one of those reasons is not as a bank account for my crypto, because your bank account for your crypto should be more like a savings account. That should be, an offline wallet, a cold wallet, something that's really just kind of, holding your crypto. If you're using it to trade with and all that, then you have to decide for yourself where you want to keep it, where the best place for it is. If you're a day trader, that's just a different situation altogether. But just think about, please, don't buy your Bitcoin and just leave it sitting on Coinbase. And I'm not speaking against Coinbase in any way. I'm just saying, that's just something, because it's the biggest one in America, and probably one of the most trusted in America. Don't, because something could happen and Coinbase could get sued, and then their creditors could take that crypto. The reports are already showing with FTX that we already knew it anyway, but the courts are actually showing it now. That's not your money. You're not going to get it. If there's any left after everybody else gets their piece of the pie, you might get it. And good luck, because there's never going to be any left. So.
I'm sharing the tweet here on the groups.
Yeah, cool. And the next one's 𝗖𝗧. That's another big one, especially a few months ago. Everything that came out so it's a decentralized autonomous organization. So basically, it's where the holders make the decisions. They usually they vote using shares, or shares is probably the bad term for that. As holders, they have to hold a certain amount, then they can vote. And in many cases, it actually costs a small amount to vote, just to validate.
I guess we can call them participants.
Yes, yeah, they participate in the organization. You need to talk to a financial advisor about what that means, because there's good things and bad things about that. There's good things about participating that makes it not one, but then there's bad things about participating that makes it something else. So you just kind of have to, those are some slippery slopes. But, in general, like I said, a lot of people thought that it was a good idea, to do, because of all the rug pulls and everything, to run crypto in this way. Just keep in mind, still, who's holding the keys to the wallets, because it doesn't matter what everybody votes if the person holding the keys to the wallets doesn't do what they say. Is it automated in some way? Fantastic. There's also another thing you have to understand, is that they can be leveraged. A large holder, whales, have even more power. You think they wouldn't, but they do, because they own such large chunks. They have such a voting block that they're a lot. They can leverage a 𝗖𝗧. So there's a lot of ins and outs to all of that. But just so you understand what it is, basically you vote. You're part of the company making decisions. All decisions are supposed to be made freely and openly, and should be decided on by holders. What are DApps? So decentralized applications, and they run on the blockchain. So the biggest thing is to remember that most DApps, when you access them, you're going to access them through your wallets, the little apps at the bottom, and it says DApps. In fact, in most cases, that is your DApp. And a lot of times, so there's things to remember about DApps that most people need to keep in mind. Um, when you connect your wallet to a D app, if that's a malicious D app, you're going to have some problems. So you need to be very, very sure. Yeah, you need to be very, very sure when you connect your wallet to any app, anytime, and that includes when you do the website, exactly. So when you do that, even on Web 2, you need to be very careful. It's just very, very easy within Web 3 right now. There's not a consensus, so it makes the scams tend to stick around a little longer, stuff like that. You just need to be very careful. But I will say this. A lot of times when you're trying to do something that is blockchain based, it is very helpful to actually be on a D app to get it done. Meaning that, sometimes when you're trying to make a buy that doesn't seem to be wanting to go through, but if you actually try to do that on your D app, if you're not already, if you're trying to use Wallet Connect on Web 2, if you use your D app and basically sidestep the Wallet Connect, you take one less, thing out of there, and a lot of times that purchase may go through a little easier, or sell, or anything. But like I said, be extra careful that you're connecting to the correct site. That's and that's with any site or application, anything. Just make sure it's the right one. And with your D apps, you can 9 times out of 10 you'll be able to copy paste on Web 2 to take it to your D app and to make sure you're getting the proper one too. So decentralized exchanges. So Uniswap, PancakeSwap, these types of exchanges, they're decentralized exchanges. Exchange operating without a central authority. No company operates it. Some of the advantages in decentralized exchange over CSX are at security level. They are harder to breach, as well as the regulations. Now, I don't know how much of that is, to me, I don't know how much of that's 100%. I don't know if I'd be 100% behind. So yes, they're not harder they're harder to breach, but I don't know. It's hard. You just need to treat them all. I mean, Uniswap gets hacked, and you hear say Uniswap gets hacked, but you seldom ever actually hear of Uniswap getting hacked. It's somebody got hacked on Uniswap. There's a difference. So the decentralized exchanges, obviously, they don't have your name.
The most known ones, the centralized exchange, they are safe. Pretty much until the day somebody, figure a way out, and then they go there and fix it, improve it, whatever it is.
Yeah, I mean, and to say that they're safe, I mean, there's still going to be scams. There's scams on all of them.
Yeah. If you have your token on a decentralized exchange and you put in your hard wallet, then that's a way nobody's gonna get it.
Yeah.
Unless you connect to your wallet in the wrong time or in the wrong place.
Yeah. Yep. Always be careful. All right. So what is DeFi? DeFi is decentralized finance. You'd be surprised how many people don't know what DeFi stands for. It's funny. It's a new monetary system. It's not all that new anymore. But it is still new to 96% of the people in the world, I guess. To us it seems like old news, but it's not old news yet. Hey, she made it.
Hi.
Hey.
She got home safe.
I did. Thank you. So please continue, Ty.
Okay. Well, we've we were on DeFi, so like I said, decentralized finance. This was, if anything, was probably the original thought and purpose. My consideration, thought and purpose of crypto. This is it. Put the power back in the hands of the people. Take it away from the banks. But what we've also found out is that FTX. I hate to bring them up again, but they're a perfect example. Is that if we don't watch them, the exchanges will just become the new bank, where they hammer us with fees. That's exactly what we don't like about the banks. You know, they hammer us with fees. They use our money to loan out to other people and then charge us to get our money back. And that's what that's kind of the purpose of crypto in the beginning. That it's a lot bigger than that now. It's grown past just that. But to me, that was the general thought of crypto when it's first thought and conception of Bitcoin. And what was there was one before Bitcoin. Can't remember what it was now. Digicoin, Digicash. That's it.
Yeah, just so you guys know how early we are. In the future, we're gonna have different types of rules in different countries, right? But we're in the era of no rules, pretty much. For that, it's make money and whatever. And I don't know how many people realize this. It's like we're touching the dollar when they created the central bank. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's pretty much what's happening. So
exactly.
That's a big deal for many of us that, keep ourselves being consistent on the market, because that's the hardest thing. Being consistent. Crypto holding.
And the big thing is how much ahead we're all going to be when the world adopts digital currency, because it's coming, and we'll already understand what everybody else is trying to learn. That's a good place to be when you're talking about money. So,
yeah. Hello, Christine. Hello, Flamingo, Keynes, Conservo. We have GG Hustler in the house as well. Hello, everybody. Good to have you guys here. People talking about drinking, and I was like, where are all the fitness people here?
Yeah.
Right here. The flamingo is there.
Go ahead, Ty. Sorry.
Oh, you're good. You're good.
Okay. What's digital asset?
Address. So, sequence of 27 to 34 letters and numbers. Each address is unique. And you can see an example. We know what these are every day, right? We look at them all the time. They don't look abnormal to us. But if you just want to think back to the first time you ever saw crypto and somebody said this is your address, and you're like, wait, I got to remember that. I'm not remembering that.
Or let me write it down, because every time I use it, I'm just gonna have to put it.
Yeah. One thing is that understand, anytime you send anybody any crypto, anytime any transaction gets made with that address, people see it. Your address is important to protect, in that it's important to protect for your personal safety, so that people don't connect your address to you. As far as knowing what your address does, that's open for anybody to see at any time. It's the purpose of the blockchain in the first place. So as the ledger, you can go, use that address, find out anything that's ever happened on that blockchain, on that address. So it's a great tool. I know that it's one of the things that makes the scanners so, like, people see it and they see all the numbers and letters and everything, and just like, oh my God, I don't want to touch this. And they get scared of it, when in actuality, as long as you're on the right one and you haven't gone to a malicious site, the scanner itself is one of the best places to actually connect your wallet. There's no third party involved except for the scanner. You're not going through one company to go through, or, one site to go through another site to actually get that same information. So, one of the safer places to actually do that. And most of the contract functions, not most, some of the contract functions can actually be accessed from that scanner. So it's a big thing to learn. And just big thing is, anybody new, don't get upset by the numbers and letters. It can be intimidating. That's for sure. And no, you don't have to remember it.
Yeah. Oh.
So what?
Oh, very sorry.
Oh, you're good. A digital wallet. So with digital wallets, obviously we all know what they are, right? It's a wallet that Trust Wallet, MetaMask. These are two good examples of digital wallets. They can store your crypto on the wallet. It is not on the blockchain. It is not the blockchain. Now, like Coinbase has a Coinbase digital wallet. And as far as 100% of the ins and outs of how it all works, I will say this: I do have a Coinbase wallet, but I don't digital wallet, but I don't have anything on it. But I'm pretty sure it works like most digital wallets. That once you have it, it's yours. You can send it anywhere.
Yeah.
But I don't know that.
Be careful in all of those digital wallets, known and unknown, whatever you're gonna be using. Um, Myself, I find it amazing when you have a digital wallet that you actually have people that you can email and get some answers if you get in trouble in something, because there's some digital wallets out there that there's no like customer service. And if
Yeah,
anything happens and then you don't know how to get your money out, and if there's no videos on YouTube, and where you're gonna get the support from. So you guys also got to be careful on that. Myself, and I actually not last week when we were doing the charity raffle, I forgot that I on my Twitter I had a wallet connect there that it was for donations, but that I wasn't using, and it was on Coinbase. And the person sent there, $20, and I was like, oh, let me, send it out to put it all together with everything and cash it out. So I wasn't even able to send it out, and I was trying to get some number for support, but then I would have to go to an account that I have, which I don't even remember the account because I have my seed phrases and I have my digital wallet. I don't even know I had an account, so I still haven't got that money out, and I don't know how I'm gonna get it. But either way, not saying nothing wrong about Coinbase, but depending on the digital wallet, like MetaMask, many people use, right? And Coinbase as well. Myself, I use a lot more now 𝗖𝗓 Pro, and that's because I get a support, if in case anything, not only because of that, but I find that's very important for me, because I remember back in the days when I first got in crypto, and every transaction that I would do, my heart would like beat like 100 times, and that feeling is not good. So in case your money doesn't show up half an hour after or whatever, and you got questions, depending on which one you use, you will get answers depending on which one you use. So not every one of them are good, and not every one of them are safe. Coinbase, MetaMask, 𝗖𝗓 Pro, those are what people use, what my people use.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of new projects coming out have their own wallets and whatnot. You'll see more of that. Just understand when you connect to that wallet, if you're importing a wallet, you're gonna have to put your seed phrase in there. So now you don't know what they're doing with your seed phrase. So just remember that. And also remember that one of the biggest things with a digital wallet is that that you have multiple wallets within that wallet. They all have different seed phrases. But if someone gets within that wallet, in that app on your device, then now they have access to all of those wallets. So just keep that in mind. And we've talked about in the past, having several wallets. I have several wallets from different ones, a MetaMask, a Trust. I have different wallets. I don't have 100 of them. I've heard people talk about 100 of them. I think Sick With It was one of them, maybe. But we've that seems to be a lot to keep up with. But it's not uncommon to have 10. I definitely use different wallets for NFTs as I do for my main crypto holdings and whatnot, because there's different things to look out for and all that. So I like to have them in different wallets. So if my NFTs get drained, at least they just get drained. They don't get anything else, So. And also, we need to cover the cold wallets, because digital wallets also entails cold wallets. Cold wallets are still digital wallets. Obviously the difference is that a cold wallet is an offline hard wallet that holds your assets offline. So basically, as long as they're there, Nobody can get them. So, and it's by far the safest way to hold your crypto. Just understand sometimes if you need it quickly, it's not always the easiest way to access it. So just keep that in mind, depending upon what you're using it for. But if you're not using it and you don't plan on using it and you don't plan on selling it, it's a good thing to have it offline.
Cold hard storage.
Yeah. What is fiat? A lot of people are surprised. You'd be surprised how many people just don't know that fiat is just actual money, what we know of as money, the dollar, the pound, the euro, the pesos, all the different dollars or currencies around the world. It's the government-backed currency. So that's all fiat is. I had a conversation with my dad not too long ago, and I said something about fiat, and he didn't know what I was talking about. So, are you talking about money? Yeah, money. Oh, okay.
You could have been talking about cars. You could have been talking about cars.
Yeah, exactly. This is true. Could have been talking about cars. In fact, I think that is what he said. Something about, one thing I know about fiat is, car. FOMO, fear of missing out. FOMO is something that you hear a lot, and most people know what it means. That doesn't mean that they know how to steer clear of it when necessary. myself included. FOMO is sometimes that when you get caught in the wave, you're scared. You shouldn't buy right now. You're not supposed to buy in the green. You're supposed to wait till it's in the red.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
You just know it's going to keep going. You just know it's going to keep going, and you buy.
But what if I miss out?
Yeah, exactly. And look, if you do that, understand that you did it. If it's still a project that you believe in, then we're going to actually.
Doesn't mean it's bad or it's good. Usually, it's more bad than good. But it doesn't mean it's wrong if you're FOMOing in something. You might get a project like that's skyrocketing and you're FOMOing, and that project's still gonna go up 1,000%. So
there's a possibility it can work out. Yeah, usually it's used as it's, I don't know, it's almost considered a bad term, even though I don't think it's meant to be a bad term.
Yeah.
Because we all get excited. That's part of what crypto is. There's not much better feeling than when your crypto's pumping. When you're sitting, that feeling of you're proud, you're happy, you're like, I got more money, it feels so good, and once you feel it, you want to feel it so bad that I think that's where the FOMO gets you the worst. A lot of people are just like, I want that feeling again, so, it's a big thing to just try to stay under control.
I just don't want to be in a bear market anymore.
Yeah. I don't think any of us do.
I'm not even looking for that excitement. I just don't want to be in a bear market anymore.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, FOMO is pretty hard to maintain at the moment. That's for sure. You can get a little bit of FOMO for the first day or two, and then after for launches and stuff, but you're not seeing much past that these days. Not right now. There's just not enough volume out there.
Yeah.
All right. What is FUD? FUD stands for fear, uncertainty, and doubt. Now, this is another one that's funny because FUD's like almost always considered bad FUD's not technically in its definition, it's not always bad, right? Just like FOMO's not always good or bad, FUD's not all, FUD, if it's backed by real information,
that's interesting because I've only seen bad FUDs so far.
Yeah. But if somebody can have fear and uncertainty and doubt and it be based in facts, that they're like, look, I'm afraid of this because the market caps, or whatever, whatever. the liquidity is not right. It's
Yeah.
not locked. I mean, there's things out there that, people would say, oh, that's FUD, but it's like, well, it is FUD, but still, what's the answer? I mean, is the liquidity locked? It's not FUD unless you give the wrong answer. That's a big thing where I always talk about with FUD. And I say, FUD doesn't really begin with the question. It begins with the answer or lack of one, because if somebody's just throwing idiotic stuff out there, they'll show themselves. That kind of takes care of itself, but if you start getting offensive or defensive, and you start getting angry, whether it's real or not, it feels real to other people. So you need, that the big thing is making sure you answer the question. And if you don't have an answer for the question, honestly say, I don't have an answer. I need to find that out for you. Don't make it up. That's the biggest way to mess yourself up, is to not know the answer and make it up. Don't please anybody out there, don't make the answer up. Just say, I don't know. Most people can forgive you not knowing, but they're not going to forgive you lying to them. So, and that's what they don't care what your intentions were. At the end of the day, you didn't tell them something that was right. So, like I said,
right, you're wrong, and if you're wrong, you're wrong.
Yeah.
How they try to make it.
I mean, the definition of FUD in and of itself, FUD is not always bad, but it's considered bad. It's thrown around as bad, It's the first term that's used by scammers when somebody asks a question. Oh, quit FUD, But it's also the first term that's used by people who are legitimate and they get tired of answering questions. I'll quit FUD. So it's hard to, it's not always bad. Just listen to it. Sometimes you might want to read it. Usually it's pretty easy to tell if somebody has an agenda. If they're asking a question and they seriously want an answer, they'll ask that question, they'll get their answer. They may want some more specifics, but they're not going to be combative when they come back. If they come back combative, then you pretty much know they were just trying to start a fight from the beginning. And, you can take it for what it's worth. Hold, spelt wrong.
Yeah.
And, people see that and they're like, what in the world?
On your dear life.
Thing.
What
So,
does it mean? That's not what it means. On your dear life.
No, it's funny because, I mean, everything I've ever read it all stems back to way back when on some social media. It says here bubble pop or whatever, crypto bubble pop or something like that. But it was somebody.
There's actually no definitions, like abbreviations. I thought that was like 4 different words, like HO.
No.
Wow, they told me.
Apparently, it was somebody drunk. It was somebody drunk on somewhere, and they kept typing it wrong, and it stuck. So that's what.
Well, I still think it's better to say, hold on, your dear life. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's a good one. Hold on, dear life. Yeah.
Hey, Steiner.
But, it means hold. So we all know that. It's almost hard to spell it right anymore.
I know, right?
Yeah. Real life, you write it, and people are going, what is this?
HOLD. That's wrong. It's HODL.
Yeah. What is halving? A predetermined process that cuts in half the rewards that miners receive for recording and verifying transactions to new blocks that will be added to the blockchain. Bitcoin halving happens once every 4 years. This one was the next halving, so that would have been the last halving. Was the summer of 2020. So for Bitcoin, it's a way for them to keep up with the price differentials and whatnot, and keep the blockchain moving. Like we said before, everything is about those validators. If those validators stop working, the blockchain stops existing. One does not happen without the other. You cannot have a blockchain without validators. Someone has to run that information, and somebody has to verify that information. DCA. Yeah. Dollar cost average.
I do that all the time.
What's that? You'd be surprised. I've said DCA so many times. I've said that so many times, and people don't know what DCA is. you know, and when you're in Telegram, when you're on Twitter, very few people actually write it out.
Isn't that the platform that creates those cartoons?
Yeah. You know, go ahead.
I was laughing. I was like, that's DC
Okay.
Comics.
Yeah, DC Comics. Yeah, but you know, and when you see it somewhere in social media, nobody ever says it out. It's written out DCA every time you say DCA, and there's a lot of people out there. I know it doesn't seem like it, but there's a lot of people out there that do not know what that means. You know, they may know what, and they'll be like, if you tell them what it means, like, oh, well, I do that. They just don't know what it's called, or you know, and all that. So you know, dollar cost average.
It also depends on which country you live in, right? Because I mean, you might not be doing dollar cost average.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and that was one of the things that it's a general term, and I even thought about that when I was doing this because I was like, you know, dollar doesn't it really doesn't apply to everybody, but I guess I don't know. I guess because it's the most used for the most part, most people just know, they just assume that's what it is. Because I thought about that, but I also know that many people in many countries that don't necessarily use the dollar still use the same term.
Yeah.
So, you know, they still say DCA, you know,
True.
people in Europe and everything. So I think it kind of stuck because if you change it, you know, you'd have what, you know, you'd have the ECA and the, you know, the PCA and you know, you'd never know what anybody was talking about. So it's a important thing, I think, for most investors to, at the very least, know what it is. It's a great way if you've bought at the top. You know, we talk about the FOMO in. You know, and if you FOMO in and you're really into the project, you know, do your research and figure out if it's something you want to be in long term. If it is, then as it goes down and it takes major dips down, it's a good time to buy. That way you can get that average cost down. So then when it does go back up, you can be in the green. So, and the one thing that I want to point out that people forget is that you can also do that on the way up. So DCA is not just for the way down. If you don't put your whole bag in, if you think you're not at the bottom, you think, oh, well, you know, but I want to buy it. Buy some, and then if it goes up a little bit, you can buy a little bit more. You know, I mean, you can do the same thing on the way up as you can on the way down. It doesn't just have to be on the way down.
The problem is knowing which way we are.
And that's why you have to know you can do it in both directions, because you don't. Like when we're in a situation right now, nobody knows if we're near the bottom. Everybody knows we're somewhat near the bottom. But, you know, we also know anybody that's been around.
Reach the bottom, right?
Yeah, exactly. We know we're near the bottom, but we don't know how much longer. We could be at the bottom. We could be a week from the bottom. We could already be on the way back up and not know it. You know, and we could be a year from the bottom. We don't know, right? You know, and economic things that happen economically in the world are going to matter. When it comes to that, things we can't control too. So they're going to matter greatly when it comes to that. So, because you see more and more adoption. It's like every day people keep saying, they still say it, you know, crypto dies. Crypto's going to die. Oh, but by the way, the International Bank of Exchanges is going to allow banks to hold crypto.
They've been that forever.
You know, it's like, it just gets like, it's going to die. It's not going to die. You know, the token you own or whatever, I can't tell you what I own. I can't tell you, but I can tell you that crypto is not going anywhere. You know, not in general, for sure. What is an ICO? So an ICO is an initial coin offering. In a lot of cases, these are for us. We would consider these more pre-sales and private sales. So where you offer it at a specific price, and you basically, you either raise funds for liquidity, you raise funds for, you know, marketing, both. However, just understand that ICOs are one thing about them is pre-sales is going to be something that I think the SEC is going to have something to say about at some point. What they're going to decide, I don't know. But It's an awful lot like an initial stock offering. So, but like I said, there's a lot of things that with crypto that touch one base but not the other, and you have to touch them all. And that's kind of where we're at, is why we're waiting, patiently waiting or impatiently waiting, whatever, for some guidance as to what's legal and what's not. Because I think the majority of the people out there would love to just do it legally and not have to worry about it, but nobody really knows 100% what that's going to be. All you can do is kind of guess.
Yeah.
So pre-sales and private sales, just know, there's a chance they never launch. You never see your money. You never even get to see it hit the charts. Nothing. So,
or if they do launch, there might be a chance people will sell it right away while you're buying.
Yeah. And if you're buying into, understand the pre-sales, understand the private sales, ask about them. It's important to know if you're going to buy into a launch, if they have them, and if so, how much did they pay for them? How much are they extra just as soon as it launches? Because there's a lot of people out there might, buy up. What were the limits within the pre-sale? Understand the limits don't mean a lot, but they're good to know that they at least tried to limit them. But, look, if somebody has multiple wallets, they can buy into a pre-sale as many times as they want. So, there's some projects out there that's got 100 of them. So, and have admitted it, in fact. And an initial exchange offering is basically much the same, except for it's with an exchange. IEO stands for initial exchange offering, which is a form of fundraising for creation of a new token that is conducted by a crypto exchange. You don't see much of this anymore. Honestly, you don't see a lot of exchange offerings to just jump straight onto an exchange, because so many tokens are basically launched, and then either if they're going to be converted possibly into a blockchain to become a coin, or you just don't see as much of an initial exchange offerings because of that, because there's so many tokens out there these days. It's just a lot easier to launch a token. It's a lot less expensive, which is why there'll be a lot more scams. What is KYC? Know your customer is a process that users are requested to provide identity information due to regulations. This including but not limited to a passport, scan, proof of address, and online web verification. So you hear KYC when it comes to CEXs a lot. Centralized exchanges, the majority of them, if you go, well, all of them, I'm pretty sure. If you are going to transfer into your bank, so basically if you're going to get it back to money again, you're going to have to KYC. That's why KYCs are kind of going to be the central exchanges will continue to be important until there's another way around that, because the government wants to know who you are. There's not a government in this world that wants you to make money and them not get their piece of it. It's just not one out there. They want, whether it's their fair piece or whether it's not, that's debatable, but they're going to want their piece. And the only way they can do that is to know who you are. And if they can allow you to get your money to the bank without knowing who you are, then nobody's going to tell them, or a lot of people won't tell them.
Let me ask you something. You guys have been following since the beginning. Are you following up on everything we're saying, or is this too much information? Because I was thinking, Ty, maybe we could, do the other half next week.
Yeah. There's at least, I think there's 12 more. So yeah, that's fine. I thought about that earlier, that it's a lot, that we probably not, it is a lot of them, and I'm running through some of them pretty quickly, but I don't want to go too quickly. Yeah,
right. Let me know if you guys have any questions on everything that we said already. I know a few of you already got in late. I'm sorry, but let me know if you do have any questions on anything that it was said before, because we didn't say a lot of words. KYC, DYOR, FOMO,
FUD, hold, hodl. But if you want to, we can. we can stop here if you want to for today, and then we can do
Yeah,
the rest next
let's
week.
let's see if we get some questions. I think people have some
Okay.
questions. Guys, let me know if you guys have any questions on anything that you was said before. Everything was explained. Awesome. Yeah, Ty is an awesome teacher.
Our kids don't think so.
Well, man, I bet they like. Well, when I was young, I always speak for myself. When I was young and I used to study with my mom, I used to get scared a little bit because if I got the answer wrong like three times, whoo,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah. Well,
get the mic.
my oldest daughter requires she doesn't want help. So, and she makes straight A's. So, as long as she's making straight A's, I'm not going to force her to let me help her. So, I mean, she's got it worked out. There's no point rocking the boat. My other daughter, she does well in school too, but she's just at a she's younger, so she does require a little bit more help with certain things. But yeah, sometimes dad can get frustrated. But as you said, the answer's right there. Look at it. So
It's right there.
yeah, it's just right there. And I try my best to, how it is. It's different when you're dad, when it's dad. Which I tell them all the time. I never wanted to be a teacher. I've never. That was not my goal. you know.
I'm good for
But
advices, not to be a teacher.
yeah, I mean with crypto, I'll talk crypto all day, but my kids don't want to hear about that. So
Let me see, guys. No questions. Everything was well explained. Let me see who's in here. Got Flamingo. Well, I was gonna do a giveaway on the tweet, but how many likes and retweets on the tweet? So, mm, JD Hustler. Have you? I don't know if he has ever won anything. I mean, here. All right. Oof, better.
yeah, all that yellow.
Right.
Yeah.
Guys, let me know if there's any questions. Actually, let me show the website again. If you do have any questions, you can always come on the website. Rise Up Telegram is right here. Twitter is right here. If you want to buy a steak farm, if you drop down, you're gonna see some information about Rise Up. What's their mission? You're gonna see this very cool video down here, and then down here you see what to buy Riv 2, staking, the app, the rug screener, which is amazing. You guys should look it up. They do looks up in contracts, total amount of supply, total tokens burned, honey pots, top holders, and much more. If you want to download it, just click here. How to use it, Junior? You have to buy 2 million River 2 tokens in order for you to use it. 2 million tokens, it's right now, since we're in a bear market, it's in the cheap prices, below $2 for sure. So as long as you hold that, you have forever to use, life granted. So that's an awesome view. The Rise Up roadmap, phase 1, phase 2, phase 3. There are some amazing news coming out very soon on the Rise Up metaverse, the Meta Rise.
And the rug screener, we got the portal coming out. Rug screener upgrades. We got a lot coming out next month. So I'm staking.
It's one of the partners, some merch about people. Ty, oh look at Ty here, director of marketing.
Yeah.
Overseas promotion and advertising effort to drive and sales and build brand awareness. Awesome. But you do more than that, I know.
Yeah, yeah. That we all do. We all do more than what our titles say. I can tell you that. You know.
That's good. Teamwork.
That's right. We look out
Rise
for
up,
each other. So
yeah. Rise Up Partners. How to buy Rise Up. There's information's in here. You can buy through BNB. Very cheap to buy.
yeah, low gas.
Yep.
Which I did. I have noticed that it eats gas pretty low right now too.
Oh, you just. Yeah, I gotta check something out later. Just remind me of something. I know it's this, but it's past 5. Hey, happy hour.
That's right.
uh, no drinking for me anymore. Only on the weekends.
Yeah, that's not part of the diet, is it?
Yeah, I'm actually on a diet since day one this year. I've been good at the gym. I'm like all sore over here, you know, but it pays it off. I need it, man. I mean, I gained a lot of weight in the last 4 years.
Yeah, me too.
That's right here, gotta go, you know.
Yeah, I know the feeling. Me too. I'm right there with you.
Thank you, Flamingo. Thank you for all of you for being here as well. Since you guys have no questions and we're leaving the rest for next week, I guess we can wrap it up. If you do have any questions, always feel free to ask. I guarantee Ty, Dave, and everybody else, they are going to be answering right away within a few minutes. Or, well, usually they do. So, very good when you can get in touch of the devs in the projects that you hold. In case you have any problems or you have any questions, you can always ask. That what I would say is more important than anything else, right? So I like the way the Rise Up team works. We actually met the Rise Up team through Spaces, and they were very helpful to the community. Not only our community in general, the crypto community. Always try to fight the scammers, the hackers. So we started a long way, and then I started looking into the project, and I met, you know, Dave and Ty and everybody else, and more I can tell you that this project is something legit for sure. It's something that's gonna be here for a while because if it lasted this whole 2022 year, it's definitely not a scam.
Yeah.
You know, and I love the way they work. They're very transparent. Uh, Definitely check it out if you're watching this and you haven't seen the Rise Up token. And in the future, they will have those news that we just said on the rug screener and also on the MetaRise, which is the metaverse for Rise Up. If you guys do have any questions on anything that it was said today, let me show you. Hold on. Actually, yeah, I can't find the Rise Up. I don't know. Hold on. I will find right now. Hmm. I will find it. Give me a second, guys. Just gonna put it up in here so you all can see. Twitter's been bugging today. I don't know why. So that's the. Oh wow! And now I'm not following you. What's going on? Did you see this?
Well, that's why. Well, then that's why then. See, you just dropped.
But I didn't even follow you.
Yeah, I checked when you said you couldn't find me. That's the first thing I checked to see if I was following you. I didn't even check to see if you were following me or following.
But I never unfollowed. This is weird, man. Check that out later. Anyways,
Yeah.
Guys, this is the Twitter that you can find them. Rise Up _Fin LLC. All the information here. different lives and different channels, different communities, different merch, everything they need to find, you can find it here. If
Yeah,
not, you can
that's
go
the fighter. That's the MMA fighter we're sponsoring, Fabio.
this.
Yep, Fabio.
Nice. Where is it from? United States.
Yeah,
Nice.
he's down in the Miami area. He's from up
Ooh,
north.
you guys are competing with OnlyFans.
Yeah, yeah. Only toes.
Nice. Those are some big brands. Awesome. All of them. Guys, with that being said, like I said, if you do have any questions, please let us know. Please check out the project. And if you do have any questions or if you're having some problem with crypto, you know where you can find us. Thank you so much for another live. Ty, man, I couldn't say thank you enough. This presentation was very clean and specific, right? Sometimes do our own homework. Sometimes not very fun, but it's a need. It's a must.
Yeah,
So
and it's there. So it's there. People can watch it. People can watch it again. You know, they can fast forward through the parts. You know.
Ty, well, let's leave it for next week. Then you share when we're done, right? I was gonna say share on tweet so people can share, but then we'll do it next week when we're done.
Yeah, I'll have to shorten it as a video because as a video it's too long as a tweet. It won't let it do it. But I can speed the video up so that it's not as long. So it's no big deal. It's not a lot of graphics or anything. It's just the actual. I got it going really slow in the video. If I speed it up, I should be able to get it on there. I'll actually put it on our YouTube too. So I'll have it on the YouTube also.
That's even better, so we can share from there as well.
Yeah, I have it on both. So.
JD Hustle, Keynes, Conservo, we got Flamingo, we have Christine, STNR, everybody that came here tonight. If I did miss you, thank you so much for being here. Please make sure you smash the like button. Also, when we're done with the live, guys, please come back. You know, just like again if it's not showing like you like, and leave a comment. It helps the channel. Thanks so much. If you're going to find me on Twitter, you can find me as Junior Flow. We'll be here again on Thursday, and I'll be hanging out with you guys tomorrow on Spaces. Thank you so much. Ty, thank you so much. Thank you in behalf of all the communities, and thank you for the Rise Up team who is always willing to be there, helping, and never charged for anything to help any members of any community who were having problems being hacked or whatever it was, scammed, rug pulled, you know, all of those key points in crypto. So thank you so much in behalf of the communities. The Rise Up teams are amazing. Guys,
Thank you.
Good night. And Ty, any last words?
Good night, everybody. Take care. Be safe out there. I hope everyone has a great week.
Awesome. That was nice, short, cut, and clean.
Yeah, that's right. I figured they've heard enough of me talking the last hour and a half.
We like listening to you, buddy. I learned, I either heard something in the past and I forgot, or maybe I learned something new, but it's always good to listen to, you know, that's why when you're talking, I always like listen more than I speak, and I love speaking. But that's because I try to get my brain to get the information back. Because, oh man, I've heard this, I already know this. Yes, but sometimes you forget. Your brain lets it go, you know, and you gotta be, oh my God, I forgot about that. So it's good to hear, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, guys. Have a great night. Thank you, Flamingo. Good night. Bye-bye, guys. See you guys on Thursday.
Bye, everybody. Good night.